Good evening. Hope you guys are doing great. Let's get to this. Are you wearing a Maryland Terps shirt? Oh, okay. Justified. No problem. Love it. Thank you. The Broncos jersey, no. Um, but let's get this done. Let's go.
Did you like what you saw?
I love that we were challenged, and Utah Tech gets a lot of credit. Obviously you can get greedy and want every possession to go your way, but that's just not reality. You got to be able to ride the wave a little bit and figure out why it's working and figure out why it's not working and make adjustments. So I'm glad that our guys were challenged today. I appreciate Utah Tech for putting up a heck of a fight.
8 turnovers the second half. You finished with just 11, so 3 in the second half. What was the key to it?
Well, maybe just a little smarter decisions. I think in the first half, we tried to make some plays in some tight windows that we probably can turn down, especially early in the shot clock. But a little bit of that just comes with some experience and, getting guys out there and figuring out what works and what doesn't work actually under the lights.
Braden, is it just a matter of kind of just settling in, and do you feel like he's pushing at times?
For sure. I mean, Braden is he's obviously a special player and he's a great person. And, it's a joy to coach him because he wants to do right by his coach and he wants to do right by his teammates. And so sometimes you tell him something, and he takes it pretty literal. So he's just got to find that fine line between, listening to what we're saying as coaches and trying to figure out what the team needs and playing off his instincts because he's got great instincts as well. But that being said, there's also things to learn that are going to help make the game easier for him and make him more effective, which is really exciting.
Florida found trouble, tough game.
Great. I mean, he was awesome. He was awesome on the bench. He was excited. We're really working on that. Enjoying your teammates' success is really important. For any culture, and it's easy to say, and it's harder to do. And we're human like anybody else, but we were making a really concerted effort to build in a great culture here, and we got work to do, and in a good way. If we didn't have work to do, I'd be lying to you. So I like where we're at, and I like the experiences we're having, and I think they're great learning opportunities for our guys.
Just a couple games now. What have you learned about kind of the rotation so far that you may go with, or is it still?
Yeah, I mean, I'm figuring it out. Obviously I'm pretty comfortable with those 8 guys that have been playing. And I don't think Evan's far off, but Evan, I had a good talk with him. Like what maybe when and where some of his opportunities will come. And, part of this deal is, I feel like I have an obligation to develop some of these younger guys that are going to be in the rotation a little bit more and give them some experience, So, I'm not taking for granted that they're really good, that it's going to come easy. And I don't want it to come easy. Things that are learned, without, friction, without adversity, they're less valuable than things that are earned, with a little bit of struggle. And I honestly 100% believe that. So I appreciate and embrace when those struggles come and do everything I can to try to help our guys navigate it.
Going with that, how important was it to get CD in the game there the last
I mean, it's okay. CD and I, we have a plan, and we know the plan is in the future for him. But CD's, he's gone through a lot of changes in his life in the span of a couple months, and I don't think any of us could do what he's doing. I think we'd all be like back home already, and so I'm really proud of how he's hanging with it, and I can't wait to get on the court with him a little bit more individually here coming up, and now that he's kind of getting sustained practice time, and I think he's going to be a really a great asset to this program in the future.
Are the games by Tobe and Jelly kind of a good example of how you've always mentioned it's not necessarily the 5 that start, but the ones that are finishing?
I mean, you tell me.
Does it fit into that?
Well, for sure. I mean, they played great. I mean, to have the luxury of making a decision that they may not love, but it really gives our team a really unique thrust to bring 2 guys off the bench that are that good and have that much experience. And I mean, to me, I think, if we continue this thing and how it plays out, I think that's going to be a really big advantage for us over the course of the season. I mean, one guy has, finishes with 18 points, and I think, 15 at half? The other guy, finishes with 12 points, 18 rebounds. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, you might need to look that in your statistical almanac to see how often that has happened.
It's unusual. Since you've been here, usually you've gone you know, if it's a close call, going with the veteran guys as starters. I mean, do you anticipate those guys, Mike?
Bruce, don't put me in a box. I mean, box like let me cook. You know, I mean, a little bit. Like, I mean, it just. I don't coach out of a manual. So I coach off of feel and what I think is best for the team, and what we're doing today, we might not be doing in 2 weeks. I don't know. I mean, we're going to read and react as things play out.
Can you speak to the strides that you've seen in Del Orso's game since the time you got
Yeah,
him?
he's so much better, and I mean, I think that's maybe why it's hard for him to understand why he started last year and didn't start this year. But the guy that I kind of flipped the starting lineup with last year, I mean, I think he's played pretty good this season. This kid, KJ Lewis, is a heck of a player. And I just felt like last year bringing him off the bench just gave us an energy that we needed. And I felt like we needed to start our games with a little bit more shooting. So that was why I made the decision last year. But, I think, the closer a lot of times was KJ. And so Deli's really made improvements in his game. And he took a lot of things to heart last year. And he's just gotten so much more, physically able to play at this level, and so he gets credit. Rounds gets credit. J-Rock gets credit, and like just because he's coming off the bench doesn't mean his role is going to be lessened. I think his role is going to be more than it was last year for sure.
Feel similar about Tobey as far as improvement? I mean, he was honorable mention all league.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, Tobey's gotten better, and from my experience with Tobey, he always needs a few games to kind of iron out the kinks a little bit. He missed some practice time with some injuries recently, but he's back going full bore now. So I mean, if he's working out the kinks and has 12 and 18 and missed a couple layups, I mean, I think we're in good shape.
One of the things that you mentioned, I remember about Deli last year too, was just having that ability to spread out a defense. I mean, do you feel like with this way you've got the option with Yvonne, you can do it similarly?
I mean, I think Deli's a better shooter than Yvonne, but I think Yvonne's a really good player too. So like, I mean, I don't need guys to be carbon copies of each other. I mean, they all bring something different to the table. And, obviously guys showed Yvonne is, he's a really mature player for his age. And, he obviously showed that Monday night. Today, I think he was fine. We'll go back and look at the film to see and when and where his opportunities can come. But he's a guy that's going to get a lot better in our system as well.
Strong games by Kobe Pete in back-to-back games to start his collegiate career. What has he meant to this team so far?
Well, so far he's a really good player and he's a great guy. I think all his teammates he's easy to root for because he's just a classy person. So yeah, I mean he got off to a really loud start on Monday, and I think he followed it up with a pretty solid performance is what I was looking for. I mean Koa has enough confidence in himself to know that everything doesn't need to be about him at every moment. And I think that's a really special trait for a young player to have. Koa is a winner. I think every team he's on has a great chance of winning. And I think that was obviously the case for every team he's been on in his life. I think that'll be the case here, and I think it'll be the case in the future when he's playing at the next level.
All right.
All right, hey, real quick, one thing. So I want to thank our fans for coming out tonight. I mean, I know maybe in the past some of these games, we played early. The attendance hasn't been so great, and obviously a loud start, probably helps that a little bit. But we're doing this for the community, and I hope everybody understands that. I mean, we understand what our program means to this community and the feelings people have about this program. So last night after practice, I go to play padel, and I play very poorly. And I'm learning, and it's kind of walked out embarrassed, not embarrassed, but like, man, this is really hard. I'm struggling at it. And then I go to dinner with my parents who are in town, and walking out of the restaurant. So I'm sweaty because I just got done playing, and I'm tired. It's been a long day, practice, all this stuff, and I'm walking through a parking lot, and a guy like chases me down, and I'm like, oh, okay. Last thing I want to do is somebody chase me down and want a picture or whatever, but he came up to me. He's like, Coach, thank you for what you and your team do for this community. Monday night's game, you brought my family together. My entire family, multi-generations, watched that game together, and it's all my parents could talk about. My 80-year-old dad, it's all I could talk about, and he called me the next day, and he wanted to talk about it again. So that's what we're here for. And I know we all want to talk about fabulous freshmen and rotations and stuff like that, but this program means so much more to this community. I'm thankful for the fans that come out. We're going to embrace it. I hope our fans enjoy this team and enjoy this experience and enjoy the ride, because you know what? It might be bumpy, but it's going to be an adventure, and we need every one of them, and we appreciate every one of them. And I don't want that ever to be, the people think we're taking it lightly, because we don't. For one, that's one. Two, get your ass to the football game tomorrow. The football team's playing great. Okay, I mean, I don't need to say, whatever, they're 2 plays away from being whatever their record is in one, but they're right there. It's homecoming. It's a 1:30 game. It's going to be a beautiful day. Get your ass to that football game and support Coach Brandon. He's doing a hell of a job, and he's a great effing dude who this community needs to embrace. That's all I got.
Questions for Tobe, Anthony, and Brayden?
So Braden, the first game you had your ups and downs, fouled out of that game, you bounced back with 18 points tonight. Just getting your feet underneath you, how does it feel to be out there in your first home opening experience here in Tucson?
It feels great. I feel like I'm still learning from the vets on our team, and just when I'm out there and I'm having my lows, I just know I can rely on my teammates to keep giving me confidence, and my coach to keep giving me confidence that I need.
Deli, have you ever had a 6-minute stretch like that before in a game where you just seem like you're getting everything? Just 15 points there in 6 minutes?
I didn't even know that. Maybe back in the day. No, I felt good. I mean, my teammates obviously found me in the right spots. We had a good stretch there of momentum, swing our way. And, as a guy that got the benefit of it tonight, I'm happy for it, but it could be anyone in that moment. When we're playing like that, anyone can get hot like that.
Well, and as someone who's coming off the bench, the value of being able to keep the level of what the starters were doing?
Yeah, I think, obviously, everyone makes a big speculation of starters and bench guys, and I think that, once you forget about that and kind of don't worry about that, everything kind of takes care of itself, and you got to come in and give the same impact you would whether you were starting, playing 40 or playing 2 minutes. I think everyone should just play, like their hair's on fire. So that's kind of how I go.
Is that how it was for you as well, Tobe?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Deli said it best. In my head, we have, 8, 9, 10 starters, you know what I mean? So, we have great guys in the team. We understand our roles and what the bigger picture is, and, we're trying to work to the best of our ability to, fulfill that.
Bro, you got 18 rebounds.
Well, Toby or Deli, either of you guys. I just wondered, was there any part of you who say, hey, wait, I was a starter last year, Toby, you were honorable mention all league, whatever, Deli?
Nah, I mean, it is what it is. You have guys like Cole Pete, Mo's coming back, JB's coming back, you know what I mean? So, and there's only 5 spots. So somebody at the end of the day has to sacrifice, and we understand what coach is trying to build, what we're trying to do as a group. So, some of us might have to sacrifice that sort of title of starter. But, at the end of the day, we all just want to play. I think minutes count more than the title of starter or whatever. And, whether it's me, Deli, Dwayne, whoever, we're just looking to contribute to the best we can, So at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't think there's a negative connotation to that. If you're playing 40 minutes and coming off the bench or 39, 90 or whatever, you're basically a starter. Like, it doesn't matter who gets their name read. I mean, if you got the minutes and you got the impact, that's all that matters.
No doubt.
Well, it was just interesting, all three of you guys, Monday night, the hype and the production, a lot of it was coming elsewhere, and then tonight you guys come out. And do you anticipate that kind of thing? A lot where
Game by game thing. I think talk is cheap, so whatever people on the outside are saying doesn't really matter to what we're trying to do. We're around each other 24/7. We know what we're doing in practice day in and day out. We know how hard we've worked. We know the sacrifices we've made individually. So I guess all that stuff on the outside is cute, but we know what we're trying to work for. So.
Braden, I think you had mentioned to us back in the preseason that your welcome to college basketball moment was, I think, getting trucked or something by Tobey or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think there was at least one point in this game where you were trying to go for a rebound and he kind of got it from you. I mean, it's just that, no.
That's good. Yeah, 18 rebounds. Like, that's what he do.
Yeah.
He rebounds. So if you see him right there and he about to get it, just get out the way, honestly.
How much, has he helped you, though, with knowing that you have somebody like that maybe if your shot isn't on, that you've got him under the basket to clean it up?
Feels great, honestly. Like, knowing that I have somebody that I know can get the rebound and also, like, even defensively, like, help him, like, box out. I may not get it, but I can box out to help him make it so his job is easier. Like, it's just, like, it's only going to give him more energy, make him want to play harder, make us as a team better. So I feel like it's just great for us overall.
What was it like going through the foul trouble that you had the other night, just that game in general, and what did you watch it again? Did you learn anything from it? What was that process?
I learned that you just gotta make smarter decisions. Be in spots earlier, and like if you're there earlier, then those fouls don't happen. And I also learned like if you have like 2 fouls early, then like you're basically like done until the second half.
Was there any one thing in that game that just stuck out at you, like, I gotta clean this up or whatever, that just jumped out at you?
Yeah, I'll say probably like being like late to spots on defense. I gotta clean that up, get better at that, and also like my cutouts could get better. But overall, just not fouling, being spots early, it's gonna help me out a lot.
Anything else for the guys? All set. All right. Thanks, guys.